You could build a beautiful luxury hotel in a beautiful charming city, but if the service sucks, it kinda negates everything. Today we're gonna take a full tour and have a bit of story time, so let's get into it. Welcome to Auckland. If you'd like to know the exact rate that I paid for my stay, or my next 5 videos in queue, please check out the description below. And if you're new here, hi there and welcome to the channel. My name is Kevin. I'm of the opinion that the world needs a bit more honest travel content these days, so I make airline trip reports, high-end hotel reviews, and cruise ship tours as well, all without invitation. I always film without the company's knowledge and self-fund my trips to be sure I get a true experience, and give you nothing more than my personal, honest, unbiased opinion. Park Hyatt is the flagship brand of Hyatt. They are clearly at the top of the pecking order. There are only around 45 Park Hyatts across the globe, with just 4 in the pipeline at the moment. This generally leads to Park Hyatts being some pretty special properties, generally with outstanding service, as should be expected. But the Park Hyatt Auckland seems to have not gotten that memo. I stayed here around 3 months prior to writing this script, and to this day, after handwritten messages, an email, and at least 4 phone calls on my part, I'm still waiting for a reply regarding an issue I had during my stay. You tell me the taste that would leave in your mouth. That we'll get into more when we tour my room. For now, I do want to show off what is otherwise a beautiful luxury hotel in a beautiful, charming city. Located on reclaimed land around Waitemata Harbor, the property and its 195 rooms opened in September of 2020. The hotel is a really well-mixed balance of discreet and understated, heritage-influenced and eye-catching, and comfortable and cozy. The entire building was conceptualized as a Maori wharenui, or local house, and designed by Ali Reda from AR&D in Singapore. This 8-meter wide artwork references the hotel's proximity to the water and is inlaid with paua, local abalone shell, and subtle lighting effects, hand-carved by Dr. Lionel Grant. Wharenuis are fundamental to Maori life and are said to stand as the beating heart of Maori culture, a place of gathering that brings families and communities together. Entering the lobby now, we are immediately drawn to the scale of the interior atrium, and clearly to the blue and green artwork in front of us. 6 meters by 11 meters wide, this illuminated canvas was created by Peata Larkin to function as the centerpiece of the hotel itself. Behind the small central seating area, there's a 3-story tall map of the Auckland area hanging on the wall, and then behind the reception desks, we find traditionally woven tukutuku panels by Baronia Scott and her family. Similar panels we will have a better look at also in the rooms, as there's one in each one of them. You may be sensing a theme. Art, specifically local contemporary Maori art, plays a significant role in the design, layout, and overall vibe of this property. Without it, frankly, it's a pretty Spartan design. But I think there is something wonderfully understated about the combination of mostly neutral spaces with pops of vibrancy, big pops of vibrancy, here and there. So, where is here and there? Auckland is New Zealand's largest urban centre and is located on the northern side of the Northern Island. Surrounded by 2 large bays, the waterfront is quite literally front and center, in view from almost everywhere in the central business district. The Park Hyatt is located just off to the side of that in a newer waterfront district. The airport is an easy 30-minute ride, and both Ubers and taxis will do the trick. Now, I want to move on to what I think is one of my favorite spaces, common spaces, in any hotel that I've been to recently. The living room here at the Park Hyatt. A long and narrow lounge and dining venue, it spans nearly half the entire hotel and is jam-packed, in a good way, with seating arrangements which will give you and your party the privacy, comfort, or intimate feeling that you're looking for. With Auckland's favorable climate, much of the year you'll find the floor-to-ceiling glass panels fully opened, giving you truly harborfront seating from the comforts of a plush Park Hyatt armchair. They've also designed the hotel well in that all of the restaurants and bars overlook the harbor and enjoy some beautiful morning sunlight, leaving the afternoons cooler and shaded. The living room serves as the hotel's only all-day full-service dining venue and is where I had lunch while I was waiting for my room to be ready. The menu is small but nicely curated with a good mix of standard hotel fare along with plenty of locally influenced dishes, at surprisingly reasonable prices too. The living room is also a destination in and of itself for afternoon tea. The menus are seasonal, so expect some variation. I started off with an incredibly comforting roasted corn soup with perfectly grilled brioche. Grilled bread really is an art unto itself. Following that, I had the fish and chips. Knowing that I had a lot of Balinese, Indonesian, and Taiwanese food coming up in the next few weeks, I was sure to stock up on comfort food while I was in Auckland. The very large central black column are where the elevator banks are, and that separates the two sides of the interior atrium. If you support the content that I've been putting out on this channel, or honest travel content in general, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. Those are the two easiest ways that you can tell YouTube that this video was worth your time. Feel free to share it with all of your friends as well. For anyone interested in supporting, my Patreon is also linked in the description below. Thanks very much for watching today. Let's go head up to my room now. My booking was with Amex Fine Hotels and Resorts. I was upgraded to a harborfront king room with balcony on the 6th of 7 floors. On the left here is my room's tuku-tuku panel. Overall, I think the layout of the room is decent, and the design of the room is beautiful. When I posted my review of the Park Hyatt in Jakarta many months ago, I had multiple comments about this Park Hyatt mentioning that the building materials were really cheap. That is unfortunately true in some of the surfaces in the room, but it wasn't necessarily a deal breaker, just not as expected. As I've mentioned in many videos before, I think Park Hyatts have the industry's most comfortable beds, and I really do wish that I could say that I enjoyed sleeping in this one. And that brings me to the problem with my stay. The air conditioning. After I came back from dinner, I noticed mine had turned off. I know for many people, Auckland's climate doesn't require AC, but for me, it does, especially for the humidity that built up in the room. I would turn on the AC, put it on the strongest setting, and it would work. Then 10 to 15 minutes later, it would completely shut off. Over the course of an hour, I went through this cycle 3 times before calling down to reception the first time. This was perhaps part of the problem, but the thermostat refused to show what the actual temperature in the room was, rather just what the system was set to. I would guess, by the time I called around 8:39 p.m., it was around 78 degrees in the room or 25 degrees Celsius. And like I said, humid. There are 2 reasons why I didn't open the balcony door to cool it off. I'll explain that in a minute. So I called reception, very calmly and normally. Frankly, this is a common call that I need to make. I just said that there's something possibly wrong with my AC. The very first thing out of the front desk staff's mouth was, quote, "Just so you know, there's no engineer on site. So if there is actually a problem, it wouldn't be able to be fixed until tomorrow. And at the moment, we don't have any other rooms in your category available." Whoa, okay. Preemptive attitude much? So I asked her what she suggested that I do. She said she was going to send someone up to look at it. So around 20 minutes after my call, someone, who was either the runner or worked for room service, since he was the same guy that brought me bottles of water and a bottle opener earlier, came to look at the AC. Brief aside, I did really appreciate how nearly all of the chargeable products were local, and not just the bog standard assortment of stuff that I normally see in minibars. By chance, as he was there looking at the thermostat, it turned off on its own, as had been the problem. He removed the thermostat, reset it somehow, and put it back, apologizing for not being able to do more, and said, and I quote, "On the off chance that it still isn't going to work, can I bring you a bottle of alcohol or something to help you sleep?" I understand that he, likely beyond his job scope at that point, was well-intentioned, but it just came off as dismissive. And then on the other side of the room, we have the separate powder room near the minibar, which then moves on to the large walk-in closet and then the full bathroom near the balcony. So, around an hour later, now approaching 10:15, the same problem persisted. Some of you know, I'm a morning person. I see the sunrise daily, but I couldn't tell you the last time that I saw midnight. So this is getting late for me. I called the front desk again, expecting I don't know what. I was connected to the same lovely agent, and I simply told her the same problem was continuing, and overall the room's temperature wasn't budging at all. I also let her know that I tried to cool down the room by opening the balcony door, but said the noise from the bar was so loud downstairs that it wasn't possible. She simply told me that the bar will close at midnight. Great. I asked her to note that I called again on my folio, and again asked to make sure there wasn't something else that she could do. Apparently, there wasn't. For reference, this is how loud the bar was from my room, sitting on the sofa with the balcony door completely closed. On to the bathroom now, which was very nicely outfitted, if not a bit generic. The other bit of technology that I did not appreciate in the room were these light switches, which were all digital and were truly a pain in the ass to use. Having to push multiple times for the command just to register, and then being on a delay once it did. Finally, in the bathroom, there was a large walk-in shower with Legrand products. Let's take a look at this massive balcony. So you'll surely note that there are these big old screens out there. So the double layer of the exterior of the building is meant to echo a Maori cloak, and the panels, well, some of the panels would rotate electronically. This brings me to the other reason that I didn't sleep with the door open. While I can close my own panels, over the rail of this balcony, it's all open air, meaning that the room next to me, or the room below me, if they had their screens open, a seagull could just fly into my room. Likely? No. Something I wanted to chance? No. In terms of the cheaper materials in the room, or at least the materials that are not wearing that well, it mostly came down to the wooden, marble, and woven surfaces. The tables with ton of glass rings on them already, and the textiles and carpets with multiple pulls and runs. Let's head down to the pool and spa area on the second floor and I'll wrap up my AC story. So that night, I didn't sleep well at all. I woke up 4 or 5 times with the AC completely off. The next day, in the morning, I didn't even bother to call about it. What was going to be done at that point? When I checked out around 10 a.m., I had the same friendly associate who checked me in the day before. As I approached, she asked how my stay was. I quite bluntly at this point said that it would have been nicer if I could have slept since it was a hotel. She looked completely confused, and I asked if there was any note on my folio about my calls the night before. There wasn't. I briefly explained, and she was the first person who genuinely seemed sorry about it. I had no bill since I had a food credit with the room. The room hadn't been paid for yet though. Apparently, the supervisor or the GM or both were not on site at the time. Not surprised, frankly. She knew that I had a flight to catch, and the associate said, quote, "I don't want to charge you now. Please, let me explain the situation to my manager when they come in, and then we'll see what we can do." Unquote. I've honestly never heard of such a thing, but okay. Here's the captain's bar, the outside area here being the source of the noise the night prior. When I checked in, they put a hold on my credit card, as is standard, but I specifically asked, "So you don't need my credit card now?" when I was checking out? And she said, "No, let her talk to her manager first." Okay. To be clear, by no means did I suggest that I wasn't going to pay for this, or did I expect or want a free night. I've shown you many times before that I decline offers generally, but as a way to judge the service recovery, of course I was curious what that offer would be. I gave the associate a specific phone number and email address that the manager could contact me at. No surprise here, I never got a call or an email. I had 2 weeks left on my trip, so I set a reminder to call them when I got back home. Because, I didn't sign any credit card slip and I assumed at some point they would want to take payment. I called then. Surprise, surprise, the manager wasn't there. I explained the situation again, gave my contact info again, and didn't hear word. A week later, the full charge posted to my card. I called again, asked to speak to the manager. Wasn't there. Asked when they'd be in. The next morning. Okay. Called the next morning. Guess what? Wasn't there. Left word with the front desk again. Never heard back, and I just gave up. Keep in mind, the hotel doesn't even have a signed credit card slip from me to this day. So, back to the tour. Dinner time. There are 2 sit-down restaurants, either the living room or Onemata. They're acclaimed local and seasonal restaurant, but Onemata is only open certain nights of the week and not when I was there. So the living room again it was. While I was here, my food and service was good at the restaurant, but the food was very slow to come out. But I hadn't really noticed the tables around me so much. I sat just before 3 other tables in the area. After I finished my main course, I heard them complaining about how long their food took. I looked over, they still had nothing. Eventually, 2 of those 3 tables paid for their drinks and just left. Mind you, there may have been a few tables inside that I couldn't see, but by no means was the restaurant busy at all. A beautiful sunrise the next morning, and I went down to the harbor for a bit of a walk before the breakfast venues opened up. For breakfast, you could again go to the living room for an a la carte menu, or to this venue, the Pantry, which was more of a quick service grab-and-go spot. The third option was Onemata, which was open daily for breakfast. In case you're curious, here's their lunch and dinner menus respectively. The space is beautiful and drenched in morning light. For the included breakfast options, there was a small but nice buffet set up around the open kitchen, as well as a supplemental a la carte menu for eggs and waffles and such. I had the Eggs Benedict and some really good coffee, and then perused the well-stocked breakfast bar. So, I feel like this hotel experience, like this video, was tarnished. Like I said, I frequently have to call down for an AC to be looked at, and I don't think I've ever mentioned it on the channel before. I'd say I do it at least 1 in 5 times, and I don't generally deduct points for it, usually looking at it as more of a customer service issue than anything else. Today was just different though. That first phone call that I made to reception, that really set the tone. Basically, if your AC's broken, you're out of luck because we can't help you. That's a pretty remarkable attitude at a Park Hyatt. If the service was just decent, and there wasn't an AC or bar noise issue, or at least it was rectified well, this hotel would have easily scored in the mid-90s. But, as I said in the opening, you can build a beautiful luxury hotel in a beautiful, charming city. But if the service sucks, it's gonna negate everything. And it's never, in my most recent memory, held more true than at the Park Hyatt here in Auckland. So, given all of that, I do really hope that you enjoyed the video, despite the 10-minute monologue. If you did, please be sure to click that thumbs up button and subscribe with notifications on, so you don't miss out on any of my upcoming content. I'll see you next time at the Jumeirah, Bali. I assure you, a video that you do not want to miss. Oh, and thanks for watching till the end.